Okay, in this explainer, we're going to tackle a feeling that is, well, pretty much universal. That constant nagging sense that you just have no time. Let's really break down what's going on here.
You know the feeling? It starts almost the second you wake up. You've got a plan, a whole list of things to do, but it feels like you're already behind. Like you're playing catch-up with a day that hasn't even really started yet.
And then, boom, before you know it, the day's over. You kind of look back and you're just left wondering, wait, where did all those hours actually go? It seriously feels like the clock is just speeding up, leaving you with a long list of things you really meant to get to.
Which all boils down to this one core feeling: time, which is supposed to be our most valuable resource, feels constantly, perpetually scarce. It's this weight, this sense that you're always running out.
So, what do we do about it? Well, we fight back, right? We get the planners, we download the productivity apps, we try to schedule and organize every single minute of our day. We try to wrestle control back from the clock. But here's the frustrating part. Even when we're perfectly organized, that underlying feeling of pressure, that sense of not having enough time, it just doesn't go away. So what is really going on?
Well, here's the twist. The problem might not actually be with time itself. The real mystery we need to solve here isn't about the minutes and hours on the clock, but about your own personal experience of those minutes and hours.
And this right here is the central paradox. I mean, objectively, the facts haven't changed. An hour is still 60 minutes long. A day is still 24 hours. That's a constant. But subjectively, our feeling of that time has become completely compressed. It just feels shorter, more frantic, like we're constantly being rushed. It's this gap, this disconnect between the clock and our actual experience that we really need to understand.
Okay, so let's start pulling back the layers on this. The first part of the puzzle lies in these constant external pressures that are literally squeezing our perception of time. There are three big forces at play. And what this creates is this relentless pressure cycle. It all starts with this constant awareness of everything on our plate. You know, the deadlines, the schedules, the endless things to do. This, of course, leads to task accumulation, where our to-do list just keeps growing with this backlog of unfinished stuff, creating this low-level hum of anxiety. And that anxiety pushes us into constant movement, just rushing from one thing to the next without ever taking a real pause, which, you guessed it, just feeds right back into our awareness of how much we still have to do.
But it's not just about what's happening on the outside. What's going on inside our own minds is just as critical. It turns out we're actively fracturing our own experience of time.
I mean, just think about it for a second. How often are you doing one thing while already thinking about the next? You're replying to an email, but you're thinking about what to make for dinner. You're sitting in a meeting, but you're mentally running through your errands for later. This splits your attention. And when your attention is split, your experience of time gets fractured. Nothing ever feels truly finished. And those unfinished tasks, they just stay open in your brain, constantly demanding mental energy and extending that feeling of pressure long after you've technically moved on.
So here's the most crucial point. It's not any single one of these things causing the problem. It's not just the deadlines or just the multitasking. The real reason time feels like it's just disappearing is because all these factors, the external and the internal, have created a system that works together to completely warp our perception.
Yeah, this whole system is really built on three pillars: that constant awareness of what needs to get done, the ever-present weight of all those unfinished tasks, and that chronically divided attention that stops us from ever being fully present. You put those three together and they compress our experience of time into something that feels scarce and just plain stressful.
And this brings us to the most important insight of all. It's so easy to think that you feel like you have no time because time itself is somehow missing. But that's just not it. The hours aren't literally vanishing from your day.
You feel like you have no time because of the quality of your experience. It's the pressure, the awareness, the unfinished loops, and the fractured attention. All of it creates this constant, quiet urgency. The problem isn't the clock on the wall. It's the entire ecosystem of pressure we're all living in. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that you can actually see this system at play, you see the external pressures and the internal habits, how does that change the way you look at your own schedule, your own to-do list, and your own experience of the day? Because once you see the system, you really can't unsee it.